Hi everyone, this is your Tampa Bay Realtor Lance Mohr, and in this video I'm going to talk about listing agents. There are only two reasons, and two reasons only, that you would ever hire a listing agent, and I'm going to go over what these are in this video. So let's go over the two reasons why you would ever hire a listing agent to sell your home. And neither one of these has to do with the value that an agent is going to put on your home or the price they say you should list it for. You're the owner, you're the boss, you're the decision maker, you're going to put the price on the home, not the real estate agent. The two things that you want to make sure when you hire a real estate agent is, number one, their negotiating ability. They need to understand how to negotiate. Now, I know this is really hard, because you don't really know what their negotiating ability is like until you hire them, until you get a contract. But you need to ask them questions. You need to look at their listings that they've previously taken and look into them and look at some different things. So let me give you an example in what I mean. And this is pretty basic, but this really holds true. So when I list a home, whether a seller tells me they're going to give the buyer the refrigerator, the washer, the dryer, even home warranty, I never put those in the MLS, never. And a lot of times I'll say I'm going to give the buyer the refrigerator because that's standard in our area in Tampa. Giving the buyer the refrigerator is normal, not necessarily the washer and dryer. But what I'll do in the MLS, it will say included appliances, and I'll put stuff, obviously, the oven, the dishwasher, garbage disposal, microwave, stuff like that. But I purposely leave out the refrigerator, even though it's in the body of the contract, in our contract it is. But I'll leave out the refrigerator, I'll leave out the washer, I'll leave out the dryer. Even if they want to provide a home warranty, I don't ever recommend that. And here's why. It's just not good negotiation. The first rule of thumb is when it comes to negotiation, if you ever give anybody anything for free, it's deemed to not have any value. So if you just arbitrarily go out and start giving the buyers your refrigerator, your washer, your dryer, they're not going to put any value on this. It's not going to be any leverage on negotiation. So I'll actually have realtors that will call me up every once in a while, and they'll say, hey, I was looking in the MLS and it doesn't look like your sellers are going to be including the refrigerator, the washer, and the dryer. And I say, well, if your buyer wants it, just have them put it in the contract and let's see what we can do. Because I want to negotiate it, even if the seller's going to give it away for free, afterwards or even before if they don't want it. So I always use it as a negotiating chip, and I never give it to the buyer or suggest the seller do up front. Now, there's really only two reasons why an agent would ever do this or recommend. Number one, they don't know. They don't know much about negotiating, and they're just willing to give everything away for free. The second is they don't really care about your money. They don't really care about the negotiation. And I don't mean to be blunt, but those are really the only two reasons. So think about it up front and see and ask agents that you're interviewing. Say, hey, I'm thinking about giving the buyer the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator, maybe even a home warranty. Would you recommend that? Would you recommend I put it in the MLS, or how would I tell them that? And see what they have to say. They should understand this. Again, this is very basic negotiating. So that's number one. You want to make sure the agent knows how to negotiate. The second, it really comes down to marketing. It's very simple math. The more marketing equals more buyers, equals more showings, equals more offers, equals higher price. It's really simple math. You need to understand what the realtor is going to do to market your home. So forget everything else. When you invite a realtor over to your house, when you interview realtors, and please folks, interview realtors, statistically 76% of all home sellers go with the first realtor they meet, and then they wonder why they have such bad experiences. So interview realtors, but focus on their negotiation and focus on their marketing. Pay attention to the type of marketing, but not just what they market, where they market, but how they market. Everything's critically important. And I'll give you an example. Anybody could take a picture, right? I could go out there, I could take my 4K camera and I could take great pictures. It's a phenomenal camera. But I'm not a photographer. That isn't what I do. I'm a realtor. I'm a marketing expert is what I am. I'm not a photographer. I don't have the $3,000 lenses and I don't have all the equipment and all the, stuff to make everything look great, whatever that is. I hire a professional. But how many realtors take crummy pictures? A lot of them. And I'll tell you what, the number one thing buyers want are nice pictures. Look at some of the photos that the realtors have taken of some of their previous listings and see what type of photos they're given. Because at the end of the day, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You gotta make sure the agent not only does stuff, but does it really, really good. Because we all have the same amount of tools. It's how we use those tools as realtors that separates a top producing realtor from a non-top producing realtor. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments. Reach out to me. If you're in the Tampa Bay area and you're looking to sell your home, you're looking to buy a home, I would love to help you out. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you the best of luck.